Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into The Millionaire Fastlane, a book that is guaranteed to change the way you think about money, work, and, well, life itself. So, let's get right into it. This explainer is all about MJ DeMarco's The Millionaire Fastlane. And let me tell you, this book is designed to flip everything you think you know about building wealth and retirement right on its head. It basically goes to war with the conventional financial advice that most of us have been fed our whole lives. All right, so first up, let's talk about the path pretty much everyone is told to follow, right? You know the drill. Go to school, snag a good job, squirrel away your money, max out that 401k, and then maybe, if you're lucky, after like 40 or 50 years of the daily grind, you get to be rich when you're 65. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. But here's the question the book forces you to ask. Is that really the dream? Are you busting your hump for a future spent in a rocking chair? The whole argument here is that this get-rich-slow plan, well, it's not just slow. It's a massive gamble that eats up your best years, your youth, your energy, all for a retirement that's not even guaranteed. Okay, so to really get this, DeMarco lays out our financial lives as a choice between three totally different roadmaps. Each one has its own mindset, its own set of rules, and trust me, they lead to wildly different places. First up, you've got the sidewalk. And people on the sidewalk, well, they're living for the now. Income comes in and boom, it goes right back out. It's this endless cycle of instant gratification, living paycheck to paycheck, no matter how much they make. And a lot of the time, it's about blaming everyone else for their situation instead of looking at their own choices. Then there's the path most people are on, the slow lane. This is the sensible route, right? The one where you trade your time for a paycheck, crossing your fingers that your investments and your house will magically make you wealthy in like 40 years. But the book paints this as a long, dangerous trek through the desert, with absolutely no guarantee of an oasis at the end. And finally, we have the fast lane. Now hold on, this is not some get-rich-quick fantasy, not at all. It's a total, fundamental shift in your thinking. It's about entrepreneurship, about leverage, and about building systems that create wealth fast. It's about becoming a producer in a world full of consumers. Okay, so you might be thinking, what's really so bad about the slow lane? It seems safe, right? Responsible even? Well, according to the book, it's a total trap. It's designed with some serious limitations that make real wealth and, more importantly, real freedom almost impossible to get. First off, let's talk about your job. The book calls it a criminal time trade. Think about it. You trade 5 days of your life, 5 days of what he calls indentured time, for just 2 days of freedom. That's a terrible deal, and you sign up for it week after week after week. And another thing, in a job, your income is basically under a dictatorship. You can't just stroll into your boss's office and say, hey, I think I deserve 1,000% raise. It doesn't matter how much value you bring. Your growth is capped. It's controlled by somebody else's spreadsheet, not by your own potential. So what keeps people stuck in this trap? One word: debt. But not just any debt. We're talking about parasitic debt. This is the money you owe on student loans, on that new car, on all the stuff that's losing value the second you buy it. This kind of debt becomes literal chains, locking you into that slow lane job just so you can keep making the payments. So, you see, getting out of the slow lane isn't about just finding a higher-paying job. No, it requires a complete change in who you are. You have to shift your entire identity from being a consumer your whole life to becoming a producer. And this right here, this is the core of it, the fundamental difference. A consumer looks at a cool new product and their first thought is, ooh, how can I buy that? They see the product. But a producer looks at that same product and asks, how are they selling this? What's the system behind it? How can I sell something to them? They see the business, not just the shiny object. And here's something you've really got to get. Wealth is a process, not an event. It's not like winning the lottery or getting that one lucky break. Nope, that lucky moment everyone sees is just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath, there's a huge, hidden process of trial and error, of sacrifice, and a ton of hard work. Okay, so that leads to the big question. How do you actually build one of these fast-lane businesses? It's not about just starting any old company. The whole point is to create a system, something that can grow and make money far beyond your own personal time and effort. For a business to have that kind of explosive, fast-lane potential, it has to follow what the book calls the 5 commandments. Let's run through them. First, the commandment of need. You have to solve a real problem. Second, entry. There have to be barriers so that not just anyone can copy you overnight. Third, control. You have to own it and call the shots. Fourth, scale. It has to have the potential to grow big and serve lots of people. And fifth, time. Your income has to be disconnected from your time. Just remember the acronym NECST. Need, entry, control, scale, and time. And this really shows you the massive difference between the slow lane and the fast lane. In a job, your income is tied directly to the hours you work, right? There are only 24 hours in a day, so you have a hard ceiling. But with a scalable business, well, the number of units you can sell, the number of people you can reach, that's virtually unlimited. I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? To serve millions is to make millions. It perfectly captures the fast lane mindset. Stop thinking about how to get a 5% raise. Start thinking about how you can create something that provides value to thousands or even millions of people. But when you really boil it all down, the most powerful message in this whole book isn't about business tactics or investment strategies. It's actually much simpler and much harder. It comes down to one single concept: radical personal accountability. Look, your financial life right now, whether you're on the sidewalk, stuck in the slow lane, or building a fast lane, it's not some accident. It didn't just happen to you. DeMarco argues it is the direct, cumulative result of every single choice you have ever made. And this idea came from the author's own life-changing moment. He had this epiphany while he was driving a limo for a living, stuck in a blizzard, feeling sorry for himself. And it hit him like a ton of bricks. He wasn't a victim. He was the driver. He had steered himself right into that limo, in that blizzard. His problems were the direct result of his choices. So, this all leads to the final, and maybe most important takeaway. It's a question you really have to ask yourself, honestly. What road are you on right now? And more importantly, did you choose it on purpose, or are you just coasting along on the default path society laid out for you? Because here's the truth. The power to change your road, to grab a different map, it's not in this explainer, it's not even in the book. It's in your very next decision, and the one after that. The final message is simple. It's a challenge. Stop being a passenger in your own life.